Hello everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Dragon Slayer. Today we'll be doing a 31 for 31 days. I'm going to be telling you about the 31 movies, horror movies, and a few TV shows that I'll be watching for the month of October. Crap. There we go. So sorry about that. So before we get started on that, I'd like to say welcome back if you're a returning viewer, and please tell your friends about me and watch any of my other videos that you haven't watched. And if you're new, thank you for clicking on. Hit the subscribe button because it helps my channel. Hit the bell icon because then you'll be notified of when I do other videos, and hit the thumbs up after watching this video or during this video, and go back and watch other videos of mine because I do have other things on the channel besides unboxings. I got some videos from the Renaissance Fair. I've got videos from other conventions throughout. So I hope you enjoy. So this is my personal list. It's not really in an order that I'll be watching the movies in, but they're the 31 movies that I'll be watching for the month of October for horror. And yes, there are a couple of H.P. Lovecraft movies in there. I wouldn't be able to do a list without having some Cthulhu-esque or H.P. Lovecraft books in there, or stories. I have a couple of TV shows in there that are on the bottom of the list that I'll be watching. And I'm doing this a little differently because I don't have the complete setup to show you, as I'm talking to you, to show you what movies and stuff. So I'm going to be pointing my camera right at my computer screen and clicking through each of the movies, and then I'll give you a little synopsis of the movie if I've seen it recently. Like, there's a couple of movies that I have not seen in years that I completely forgot what they're about, so that's the reason they're on the list. Some of my favorite movies are on the list in the horror genre. There's only a couple movies from major franchises on the list. Child's Play franchise is not on there. So, which is weird since I like Chucky. Chucky's a cool character. But my favorite franchises are Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. Huge Jason and Freddy fan. So, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. Sorry about the way the camera angle is and everything. I just can't get it to be exactly right. So the first movie on my list is Abigail, which is, from what I've read, it's supposed to be a modern retelling of Dracula's Daughter. I've seen it twice, and I can see how it is. It's well done, really good. It gets fast-paced really quick. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, and I have seen the old 30s Dracula's Daughter movie. So this is worth the watch, and it's on my list first because it's saved on my streaming to watch it right as soon as October 1st comes around. Next is Sleepy Hollow. The old Tim Burton classic with Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci, Miranda Richardson, and a bunch of other famous actors. It's really good. I like this version of the book. It's really good. I never got a chance to watch the TV series, but I've heard the TV series was good. But I like this because I'm a fan of Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci. I actually got to meet Christina Ricci and talk to her a little bit at Emerald City Comic Con this year. So that was cool. And if you want to see that, you can actually go over to my Instagram, which I'll put down below. And you can see the photo that I got taken with her. And this Trick or Treat, not to be confused with Trick or Treat from the 1980s, which was another horror film, but this horror film I think is really good. It's a bunch of little stories that that are connected together with the whole story, with the bigger story, and it's actually got a twist at the end of one of the main stories, which was cool. Next is the classic Raven from the 60s with Vincent Price. Love Edgar Allan Poe. I actually have a bust sitting on my my TV cabinet, basically. That has a bust of Edgar Allan Poe, and it's a bust that both of the busts I got from Michaels years ago. The Edgar Allan Poe one I think I got last year, and then I have a Vincent Price bust. Well, it's actually a Dracula bust, but it looks like Vincent Price, so it was perfect. I love those two busts, and they sit on my TV cabinet all year long. So, and I like the Raven story. Vincent Price did justice to the Edgar Allan Poe books, making them into movies. They were really well done for the time period. I have not gotten to see the new House of Usher TV series, but I've heard that it's really good, and I am going to go and watch it at some point. Next is Reanimator, an H.P. Lovecraft film, because anybody that knows me personally knows that I'm a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan. I have tons and tons of Cthulhu I have Cthulhu plushies, figures, board games. I have tons of H.P. Lovecraft board games. And Reanimator is one of my favorite films next to Dagon, which is also on this list. But Reanimator stars Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton, and both of them are my favorite horror actors. Which is funny because Barbara Crampton's my favorite movie of hers isn't even a horror film. It's Robot Wars from Full Moon Entertainment. Next is Urban Legend. I have this on the list because I bought it. I just found it for a couple bucks at Half Price Books here in town. And I wanted to watch it because it's been years since I've seen it. And I need to go back and find Bloody Mary and the final cut too. So I have all three of them. And I believe there's a fourth one. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen Urban Legend. Basically, it's it's a slasher film of a person going around killing people. That's about it. And they talk about different urban legends. Next is the classic Friday the 13th, the original. And I saw this when I was 8, I believe. My mom took me to the theater and I watched it when I was 8. Which, looking back, was probably not the smartest thing to do, but still did it because my mom was a horror fan and a sci-fi fan and a true crime and a crime drama fan. So I got that all from her. So, but I mean, this is like the king of slasher films in my opinion. Friday the 13th, which doesn't even have Jason in it yet. Jason doesn't appear until the second one, and he doesn't get his hockey mask until the third movie. So, I mean, but this is a good film to start off the franchise with. And then my other favorite slasher franchise is Nightmare on Elm Street. Love Freddy Krueger. With the remake of Friday the 13th, I actually enjoyed it because it was more of a retelling of the story, because it was like the first 4 movie kind of put into one movie. But with the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, this is the original, and I only will watch the original when it comes to watching the first film, because the reboot, the remake, sucked big time. It was terrible. And I agree with everybody that says it was terrible. Next is Wrong Turn. This is on my list because it's been years since I've seen this. It was a good horror movie from what I can remember. I can barely remember much of it because of watching other things after it. But there's also five sequels. 4 or 5 sequels. And I need to get the pack that has all the sequels in it. I only own the first. I think I own Wrong Turn 1 and 2. That's it. I know I own Wrong Turn 1, but I think I also own 2. But it has the actress that played Faith from Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV series. And her real name is escaping me at the moment. Sorry about that. But she also played in True Calling, which she's a good actress. She played in a bunch of other movies and had a TV series, True Calling. And I believe she was in Dollhouse TV series too, if I remember right. And then the classic 1992 Dracula movie with Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves, and Sadie Frost. Forgot who played Lucy at the moment. And Anthony Hopkins playing Van Helsing. Great movie. I disagree that it doesn't follow the book to a T, but it's the closest of all the Dracula movies to the book. So, I mean, I like it. I thought it was well done. I saw this in the theater because it came out the same year I graduated high school. So, I mean, I thought it was good. And I know this is a Christmas movie, and I should have had this at 31, because this is actually gonna be my last movie for the month that I'm gonna watch, because I like the Krampus mythology, even though knowing that I'm a mythology and a history buff, and more or less a semi-expert, because I do have a history degree and minoring in mythology. But I actually never heard of the Krampus myth until watching American Dad. One episode of the Christmas episode of American Dad years and years and years ago. And I was like, okay, I got to look this up. This is way too detailed to be something that Seth MacFarlane just pulled out of his butt. So I looked it up and it was like, holy crap, how have I not heard anything about this? Because I have a lot of books on Saxon history and Saxon legends and mythology and Vikings and the Celts and stuff. And it was like, never heard of Krampus until then. And I was shocked. So gives you the proof that you're always learning something new every day and all the time. So, and Dagon. Dagon's one of my favorite. I actually like this more than I do Reanimator, because I've always liked the Dagon. I like the Dagon stories that were in the H.P. Lovecraft movies, or in the H.P. Lovecraft books. And Dagon is one of the elder gods that's with Cthulhu. So, yeah, great movie. It's cheesy, but it is still great. And then the classic 1922 Nosferatu. Classic silent film. And I was just looking on Prime earlier today, and I found out that somebody colorized it. That's not right. It's a classic 1922 black and white silent film. It should not be colorized. And I actually own this together with Wizard of Oz. That's on a dual disc. It's Wizard of Oz and Nosferatu. And the Wizard of Oz silent film is the one that Braun did himself, made himself, which was cool. And then my other silent film is Metropolis. Those are my 3 silent films. So, next is The Conjuring, because I've always loved reading about the Warrens and their cases and the Amityville horror, coming from New Jersey and knowing about Amityville, New York, and growing up in Tom's River, where the house that looks like the one from Amityville is it's a twin of the house that's in Amityville that's the haunted. But there's one the one that they used for the films is in Tom's River, New Jersey, and I got to see part of the making of the 3rd film when I was younger, so which was cool. Puppet Master, another Full Moon Entertainment movie, which is cool because it's about little dolls. Each doll has its own unique attitude to say. Each doll kills on command or kills to protect its master in this movie. It's been a long time since I've seen any of the Puppet Master movies. I own a set that has all 9 movies in it, so I need to go back and watch them again. But Full Moon Entertainment's one of my favorite independent film companies, because I'm a huge fan of the Trancer series, which is like sci-fi zombies, and I'm not a big zombie fan. I'm more of the vampire, werewolf genre fans. Not really. I'm sick of zombies, but the Trancer movies I love. They're great. And if you ever get the chance to watch any Full Moon movies, watch any one. They're all good. They're all independent, so there are a little low budget films, but they're still good. Subspecies is their vampire series. Trancers is their zombies, and they have a whole bunch of other movies. So go check them out. I'll put a link down below of their website, so if you wanted to check them out, and I will put a link down below of my website or my Instagram, so you can check out the photo with Christina Ricci and me. And then we have The Saw, which revitalized the slasher genre. I have not seen Spiral or Saw 10 yet, or X, as people say, but it's actually Roman numeral 10. So, I mean, I thought it was a great film. I liked it. I think they could have stopped? Yes. I think they could have stopped and made it just a trilogy, but people don't stop and make things trilogies anymore. They have to make them franchises, but it's fine. I do want to see Spiral and Saw 10. Next is the classic 78 Halloween. Great movie. Jamie Lee Curtis, and I can't remember who's the guy that played Michael Myers in it. Slipped my mind at the moment, but Jamie Lee Curtis, one of the best scream queens ever. Not much to say about this. If you haven't seen Halloween, where have you been hiding all these years? And how are you a fan of horror movies if you've never seen Halloween? This is like the quintessential Halloween horror film to watch during Halloween month. And then next is the 2018 version, which a lot of people keep calling a reboot, but it's not a reboot. It's a continuation of the original movie, making all the sequels null and void, or in a different universe, as some people would say nowadays. But I love how it starts out. It starts out with Michael Myers standing in like a square, and at the insane asylum, and 2 podcasters come and want to talk with him. Very cool, very great, updated very well, filled in all the holes for the 40 years. So I mean, or almost 50 years now. So yeah. Next is Terrifier and Terrifier 2. I have actually not seen these movies. I've talked to people that have and said they're great films. They're really cool, worth watching. And well, I didn't work with the guy, but I know a guy that worked in the coffee stand at Nordstrom's in the Alderwood Mall that helped work on these films when he wasn't working there. And I got to talk with a couple of the people that worked with in the film itself, and him and his wife are actually in the film too. So I mean, and I want to watch these two before I go and watch Terrifier 3, because to me, clowns aren't scary. Never had a problem with clowns. Never been afraid of clowns. Never thought clowns were creepy or anything. Watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Watch both versions of it. Watch the 4th season of American Horror Story. Even though the 3rd season of American Horror Story is my favorite because Coven. Love watching witchcraft movies. And I actually liked most of the American Horror Stories. I haven't actually watched any of the seasons past Hotel. And I still need to finish watching Hotel, which I should do. I could do that in October too. So I mean, but other than that, yeah, I need to go and see Terrifier and I need to watch Terrifier 1 and 2 before I go and see 3. And then the last of my H.P. Lovecraft movies is the Dunwich Horror, which now I forgot. Julie Christie's the main female in the movie. That's going to be, well, that's close to being sacrificed because of the story. I forgot the main antagonist. He's the guy that was Scott Bakula's mentor and helper in Quantum Leap. He was the hologram, and he was one of the multiple bad guys in Beverly Hills Cop 2, and he was the doctor in the original '84 Dune movie, Dr. Dr. Hewer. Yeah, I can't think of his name now. I had it at the top of my tongue before I got to this, and I completely forgot. He passed away, I think, 2 years ago. But yeah, no. If you want to watch any H.P. Lovecraft movies, you can watch the other two, but watch this one first, because this one's actually a little subtle compared to the other two. But there are a lot of actual H.P. Lovecraft movies out there. I have lots of them. And I have a couple. I have Dagon, Call of Cthulhu, and one of the other ones that deals with Dagon. And I thought that one was terrible, but not going to get into that right now. Moving on, The Raven. Great movie. I actually enjoyed it. John Cusack playing Edgar Allan Poe, and he has to solve the murders that are taking place from his writings. Somebody's taking his writings, his stories, and committing murders in those styles. And I thought it was a really well done movie. Not much else to say about that. It was really good. Came out in 2012, as the poster says here. Next is Red Riding Hood. I know a lot of people are up in arms saying this is not a great werewolf movie. It was a terrible werewolf movie, and there's better ones out there, like the original Howling, which actually I love. American Werewolf in London is great. And I actually liked Howling 4. I know I'm going to get a lot of slack for that, but I liked Howling 4. And Cursed with Christina Ricci, which I thought was a good movie. Blood and Chocolate. See, there's a lot of good ones out there. But to me, this one, because it's the fairy tale being made into a horror movie. And I thought it was good. And I like Amanda Seyfried. She's good. And it has Gary Oldman as a witch hunter, basically. It was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. So, and besides, this is my list, my opinions. So, you can agree with it or not agree with it. So, that's what makes this world great, is that We all have our own opinions, and you can agree with them or don't agree with them. But I liked Red Riding Hood. Next is John Carpenter's Vampires, where you have a different take on vampires, where they're truly evil, truly murdering people. And then you have the Vampire Hunters, which are almost just as bad, but they're doing the bad stuff to protect humanity in their own way. Next, we have a TV series that's from Netflix, and I believe it's still on Netflix. It only lasted one season because they canceled it after episode 6, and I'm sad that they did that because I thought it was a great show. But if you've never seen it, go check it out. It's the Curious Creations of Christine McConnell. Christine McConnell's like a home makeover person and a baker and stuff. She has a new program on YouTube, and I will probably link that YouTube to her channel on here for you guys to check her out. But she does it in the style of Gothic things. Her whole house is Gothic. She does Gothic stuff. She lives in a Gothic Victorian mansion, which is cool in real life. But I really liked this show. I thought it was well done. It was done with the help of Jim Henson's Creature Shop, and it also starred Dita Von Teese as a ghost. So I mean, 3 good things. Next is Wednesday season 1. Great TV show. Great series. I went and bought the DVD as soon as it came out, so can't wait until season 2 pops up. But it's a new version, Tim Burton's version, retelling of Wednesday Addams going to a private academy and stuff. So it's really cool, and she's solving a crime. It's like a murder mystery horror series, so it was well done. Jenna Ortega did a great job playing Wednesday Addams. Hands down. She was great. The Munsters. I know a lot of people didn't like Rob Zombie's The Munsters, but to me, I thought it was well done. It's an updated version of the classic TV series. I think Grandpa's makeup was a little offbeat, but I got past that, and I actually liked it. I liked that it was taking place differently, and then at the end, they go to 1313 Mockingbird Lane. So, but I thought it was a good film. It wasn't great. Rob Zombie's one of those hit and misses. I like his 100 or 10. What is it? 1,000 Corpses or 100,000 Corpses trilogy. I have not seen From Hell yet, or 3 from Hell, and I need to. But he's a hit and miss. Some of his movies are good, some are not, but they're still watchable. And I think everybody should give this movie a second try. Next is the Blair Witch Project, which revitalized the found footage film genre for horror films. Before this, I actually never watched any found footage, and then I saw this in the theater, and I liked it, so I went back and watched a few of the old found footage films that most people have forgotten about, and some of the foreign ones and stuff, and now I actually kind of like them. I have not seen every single Paranormal Activity one, because to me they got a little ridiculous and a little boring, but I do plan on watching the whole series, the whole franchise. And then there's Wreck, which is actually a collection of short found footage films. I think that's Wreck. Wreck. But I'm not. But yeah, no, I like a lot of the found footage films. Cloverfield, I'm not really sure. It's a found footage film, but it's also a kaiju film because more or less it's dealing with a giant monster. So that's up in arms, and didn't really like any of the Cloverfield films themselves. Next, we have The Ring, the first American version. And I like the American versions. I have them, and I also have the Japanese franchise, Japanese collection. I have all the rings, the Ringus. Um, so, and I do watch them once in a while because I love Japanese horror films. You got Ju-on, which is The Grudge, and unlike a lot of Americans, I actually like the American versions of The Grudge. All three of them. I thought they were well done. Next is a cult classic Halloween film. It's the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's not really a horror film, but it's something that if you're a fan, you watch it every Halloween, so it had to be on my list. And then 31 is Thanksgiving, which I'll watch, and then because it'll be at the end or close to the end, because I'll put Krampus at the end. But Thanksgiving, I like Eli Roth movies. I know that he recently made Borderlands into a movie, and I do plan on watching it. Even my brother's up in arms that they made it because he loves Borderlands video game, and I've only ever played the first Borderlands. But I like Eli Roth. I think he's a good movie director. He makes great horror movies. So give him a chance and stuff. And I hope they do make Thanksgiving too. Because I'd like to see it. This was a good film. I actually did a review on it last year. Wow, it's already a year old, the film. Wow. I did a review for a newspaper, local newspaper, on this movie, saying how well it was done and everything, and it was good and things. And so that's my movie list, even though I'll be putting Krampus after Thanksgiving. And then I will be doing a 25 horror movies for the 25 days of Christmas in December, so watch for that video. But other than that, that's that movie list, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you give some of these movies a chance, and if you want to leave comments down below, go right ahead and tell me some of your favorite horror movies I should watch. Thank you, and everybody have a good time. Enjoy.